other sources and lead the world away from climate change, a very big deal in Florida where the sea levels are already rising, and generate a lot of jobs and a lot of new business, a lot of income doing it. On the other hand, it is also true that since the crash, even before the crash, almost all the gains until last year have gone to people at the very top of the income pyramid. Since 2008, if you average all those years in, only the top 20% of Americans have gotten any kind of raise at all after you adjust for inflation. Amen. Almost all of that went to the top 5%. The great lion's share of that went to the top 1%. And therefore, there is still an enormous number of American families that, if you adjust for inflation, are living on the same or less incomes than they were the last day I was president, almost 16 years ago. That is a long time, and
Yes,
a lot of
indeed.
other things
That sure
have
is.
risen in price since then. So there is reason for people being uncertain about their own situation. And we know that
You got a good camera.
there are
You have a good camera.
whole areas of America that have been left out and left behind. Some of them are supporting Hillary in this election. Most of the Native American tribes, the poorest Americans who live on tribal lands without casinos, have been left out and left behind. But so has coal country, and so most of them are supporting her opponent because they've been told that President Obama and those of us who agree with him that something needs to be done about climate change are responsible for the loss of those jobs. Nothing could be further from the truth. It is now 2016, it's almost 2017, and coal employment east of the Mississippi peaked in 1920. Coal production peaked in 1950. And it started going down when they found coal in Wyoming closer to the surface, cheaper to mine, and lower in sulfur content. Then there was a natural gas boom. All the time, production is getting more efficient, and therefore fewer people are required. What they should be mad at about everybody is that they've been in trouble for decades, and America has not done enough to help them or other people in isolated areas begin anew, start something new, and have the access to the education and training necessary to do that. So, Hillary's campaign has basically been rooted in a simple proposition embodied in her campaign slogan, Stronger Together. But of all the campaigns I've ever been involved in my long life, that embodies not just something that sounds nice, but it reflects a policy orientation and a way of thinking and feeling. You know, there's been a lot of acid poured down the throat of American citizens. I heard a touching commentary last night on, I think, CNN, one of them, for someone said, I talked to a teacher who said that every 4 years she had always staged mock debates in her class and required the students to be one or the other major candidates, and this year she couldn't bring herself to do it. And it's funny, but it's not. Look, we are the longest lasting democratic government in human history. The United States. We have faced bigger challenges. The thing I want to say to you today is, this year, when I turned 70, I realized that I had literally spent half my life trying to help other people find a job, start a business, save a farm, get an education, get health care for their families, afford a home, and live their own dreams. And I spent 12 years as a governor, 8 years as president, 15 years in my foundation working in America and around the world. And what I know is that everywhere, including in our own lives, there are always reasons to be angry, but answers work better. There are always reasons to be frustrated, but empowerment is the only answer.